My
Recording in
apologies. I
progress.
certainly do not want to delay the meeting at all. It's just that the report that you had provided for Honorable Dithebe, I think it's involving children that drowned in a pit latrine. Is that what?
Well, it's on the WhatsApp group. You can just double check it on the WhatsApp group.
Okay, okay. I'm wondering if this week, perhaps a few may want to go out there and actually visit those families and just assist Honorable Dithebe
Can
in
we?
what's going on, because would that not fall under the ambit of our committee as well? I'm just asking. Thank you.
So can Honorable Reddy, can we first get feedback from him, just to see what is the content of what happened there, and then we can come back. I'm not sure what kind of pit it is, so if you allow us to get more information from him, and then from there we can take a decision on that. Colleagues, can we then let's go and go to the minutes of the 28th of October? Can that be flighted, please? All right. Can you scroll up page 1? Page 2? Page 3? And that was the end of the meeting. Can I get someone to propose that we accept this minutes?
I move, Chair. I move for the adoption of those minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder?
Seconded, Chair.
Thank you very much. Can we go to the 4th of November? Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Thank you very much. Can I have a mover? Honorable Reddy. Thank you.
I gladly move, Chair. Thank you.
Can I have a seconder?
I second, Chair. Thank you.
Stephen, your hand was up.
That's fine. I was going to second as well, Chair. Not
Okay,
stress.
thank you very much. 11th of November. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. And that's the end of it. Can I have a mover? Honorable Reddy, are you going to go for the record?
Thank you, Chair. It is my pleasure to move for the adoption of the minutes of the meeting of the Water and Sanitation Portfolio Committee that took place on the 11th of November, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I
That's
so move.
100% correct. Is there a seconder? Can I get a seconder, please? Honorable Moore?
Chair, I second.
Thank you. Shouldn't you then say I second the meeting of the... Yeah, okay.
Chair, first, let me greet everyone on the meeting. And thank you for the kind introduction and my condolence. No, let's move. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, next one. That's the 18th of November, page 1. Page 2. Kamkaya. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. And that's the end. Can I have a mover? Okay, Honorable Reddy, you were lucky just to
Gladly
make it.
second these minutes. I'll give Honorable Moore the opportunity to move. I will second. Thank you.
Honorable Moore,
Thank you, Chair. I move on behalf of the committee that we adopt the minutes of the meeting for the 18th of November, 2025. Okay, thank you.
okay, so you guys are still got a lot of fire going forward. I believe you are looking forward going to Bangkok. Okay, let's go to the minutes of the 25th of November.
Oh, it's the 18th, the second session, Chair.
Okay, so my apologies. Second session. Okay, you can continue 3 o'clock. Continue. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. And that's the end of the meeting. Can I have a mover? Honorable Kegakilwe?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the second part of the meeting on the 18th of November, 2025. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Seconder? Honorable Reddy?
I gladly second those minutes. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Can we go now go to the 25th of November? Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. And that's the end of that minutes. Can I have a mover? Honorable Moore?
Chair, can I just ask for 30 seconds? There was something in my notes here, but I'm struggling to find it to talk about it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to delay. Just 30 seconds.
No, that's fine.
No, Chair, I'm satisfied. I looking at it again, it seems like it's fine. Thank you.
Okay,
I
thank
move
you
that
very
we
much.
adopt.
Okay, seconder? Honorable Reddy?
I gladly second those minutes, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've concluded point 4 on the agenda. Can we now go to point 5? That is the motion of desirability on the Water Service Amendment Bill. Can I ask, we have discussed it. We have agreed that parties will come back today to vote on this matter, or whether we accept or not. Can I ask members to indicate their party's position on this? ANC?
Chairperson, thank you. ANC, we accept. Thank you.
MK?
Thank you, Chairperson. We have gone through this and we still have some reservations. So can I say that as MK, we will reserve our vote on this matter, and we are finalize that, we'll be in a position to vote for or against in the plenary session.
Thank you. We will take note of that. DA?
Thank you, Chairperson. whilst there are still engagements occurring within our organization, at present the DA supports this motion.
Thank you. EFF? EFF? Honorable Diale? Honorable Diale, we can't hear you. You're still muted. It seems there is a problem.
Thank you, Chair. Am I audible?
Yeah, now you're audible.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Chair. On behalf of the EFF, may we at this point, while we're still busy engaging, reserve our right. We will indicate in the next meeting our position.
There won't be a next meeting, then you'll have to indicate in Parliament. Action SA? Honorable Kobe. Honorable Matutu?
Morning, Chair, morning, colleagues. As Visa says, I second Visa, so we'll come back.
100%.
So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other party that's on the platform in the committee? I see Honorable Kobe is not here. Colleagues, then with those two positions of MK and the EFF, the majority then has approved this amendment, and so this amendment will move forward with the approval of the committee. Everybody satisfied with that?
Yes, Chair.
Yes,
Thank you
Chair.
very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you very much. Can we now move to point 6 on the agenda? Committee report on the first and second quarter expenditure report. Tumani, are you presenting this report in short?
Good morning. Yes, Chairperson.
Would you do that in a very short version, not a long version?
Yes, definitely. It's
Thank you very much.
Just confirm if you're seeing the screen on your side.
We do.
Thank you very much. This is the report on the first and the second quarterly expenditure report. And the report is as follows. Introduction, we look at just to introduce what the report contains. This is the briefing, so we summarize those briefings, so captured the overview of those two quarterly reports. And the second section deals with the overview of the first and the second quarterly expenditure report, just highlighting key achievements during those two quarters, as well as areas of under-achievement. And second 2.2 deals with the overview of the financial and non-financial performance. And in this section, I would like to draw the members' attention to Table 1, which summarizes the performance or provide the comparison between quarter 2 with the previous quarter in 24-25. So we see a slight improvement insofar as administration is concerned, where the department managed to achieve 70% of its planned target for that quarter, as compared to 50% in that other year. And in Program 2, Water Resources Management, then the achievement, it's the same as in the previous quarter. So there, the department managed to match its performance of the previous quarter. And in Water Services Management Program, the department performed poorly with regard in comparison with the previous quarter, where they achieved 72% in 2024, and 2025 they only achieved 41%. So this is the worst performing program of the department. And on the far right, the far column, on the far right, then the department provides strategies to address some of the, in fact, majority of the underperformed targets. They indicate how they are going to address those areas where they underachieved. So in total, the second quarter of 2025-26, they achieved 62% of their targets and spent 46% of the budget, which is comparable to the second quarter in 2024. So that is a slight decrease of 5%. And insofar as irregular, fruitless, and wasteful and unauthorized expenditure is concerned, the table 2 provides a summary of these expenditures, and you can see the total there of irregular expenditures stood at 5 billion, and that is in the second quarter. This is a cumulative assessment of performance. So quarter 1 and quarter 2, then the targets are cumulative. And in terms of unauthorized expenditure, 641 thousand, that 641 million that they have incurred, but this is a historical, so it was incurred in the previous years. I think during the term of around 2018, 2019. So those were the issues concerning the war on leaks, budget eradication, where they were implementing projects without budget, and in some instances even spending more than what was allocated to the budget vote. So those are some of the issues around that. And that brings us to the observations and responses by the department. In this case, we provide the context of the question, and then the question is followed by the response. For an example, 3.1, the members here, they raised the concern of lack of progress in resolving long-standing issues in key projects such as Giyani Water Project, war on leaks, Richards Bay Desalination Plant. And the question was around, despite all these issues, the members were concerned that there seems to be a lack of progress insofar as recovering funds and prosecuting people and so on. And the DG responded by citing past dismissals as well as indicating recoveries in amounts of equating to hundreds of millions of rands from companies such as SEP and EOH. And the department in this case, they have submitted a report on consequence management. So that is insofar as that issue is concerned. So the rest of the observations, then the answers are also indicated as such. And also just perhaps maybe to indicate this one, 3.10, where members raised concern about a contract worth 300 million for work that is worth less than 90 million. This was highly publicized in the media. And the issue is that that company that got that contract is linked to a board member. And insofar as the reports are concerned, is that the company has already been paid almost 390 million. And the concern is that the project remains incomplete. And we know the minister has confirmed that she is instituting an investigation. And we have received a report as a letter, in fact, as from the minister informing the committee that she intends to establish this. And insofar as the reports are concerned, it appears she has appointed the team to start with the investigations with regard to this contract and other related matters at the Uthukela Umngeni Water Board. So that is insofar as the issues are concerned, observations. And section number 4 provides us with the resolutions and recommendations that committee members made immediately after receiving the responses and the briefings from the department. 4.1, the committee resolved that the department should submit financial modeling report regarding the catchment management agencies within 14 days. Committee recommended that the department should focus on addressing recurring underperformance on certain targets. The department must submit the funding model for catchment management agencies within 14 days. The department should submit a process flow on National Treasury condonations, indicating recoverable and non-recoverable funds, among other issues, within 14 days. The department should submit an updated report on disciplinary actions, dismissals, and SIU-related recoveries, including consequence management on disclaimer audit opinions on CMAs within 14 days. 4.6, the committee recommended that quarterly reports must include an addendum with details on specific projects, such as the bucket eradication project. The department should submit formal report on the typhoid fever outbreak in Tshwane metropolitan area, indicating the causes and interventions within 14 days. So those are the recommendations emanated from that briefing. And some of the resolutions, the department has already submitted some of the documents, but they continue to respond to some of these recommendations. And in conclusion, it's worth noting that the committee noted or asked the 750 official question posed by the committee, a significant milestone that marks a historic achievement in the committee's oversight work since its establishment. So that is, in a nutshell, the report as presented during those 2 quarters, and the report remains to be considered. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Honorable Reddy.
Thank you, Chairperson. Am I audible?
You are audible now.
Thank you very much. Chairperson, these reports, the Q2 reports, are so critical that we need to, as members of this portfolio, we need to be vigilant and pick up the red flags at this stage before it is too late. And when you look at what is being presented here, there's cause for concern, because by the end of Q2, the department has spent 46.3% of its adjusted budget of 26.679 billion rands. That's roughly on track. But the overall performance, if you compare the 24-25 performance to 25-26 Q2 reports, it's dropped from 67% to 62%. In the program 3, Water Services Management, Chair, this one is the one that's most directly felt by communities. The performance collapsed from 72% to a shocking 41%, while spending is sitting at 43.7%. What does this mean, colleagues? It means that money is flowing, but services are not flowing, especially the program that should be fixing taps, bulk infrastructure, and bucket eradication. Chairperson, the second issue is underperformance, which we're told will be fixed in subsequent quarters. This is like a same old stuck record that we keep hearing. Procurement is underway, construction will commence in subsequent quarters, acceleration is underway, projects will be completed in subsequent quarters. There's no firm dates, once again. There's no measurable turnaround milestones, and there's no consequences for officials or contractors. And what this reads, Chairperson, it's like a cut and paste of previous excuses. Look at the vacancy rate. From 61%, the vacancy rate came down to 2%. Have you seen that, guys? Do you know what has happened here? All that they've done is they've simply removed unfunded positions. And so basically, what we've seen here is a paper exercise to tidy up the numbers rather than a real capacity solution. This doesn't help us. All it does is it makes things look good on paper, but the reality is that you still have unfilled positions. How can it be that suddenly your vacancy rate, without filling in those vacancies, drops from 61% to 2%? That is shocking. And then, of course, Chairperson, we have a training crisis. Have you seen that? 6% versus the 50% target. We need to get some concrete proposals in respect of this. And finally, Chairperson, as members of this committee, all political parties here, we cannot sit by and fold our arms when irregular, fruitless, wasteful, and unauthorized expenditure is 5.7 billion rand. This is a monster that we as a committee need to tackle urgently. Look at the unauthorized expenditure, 641 million rands, mainly through bucket eradication overspend and the war on leaks without budget. Fruitless and wasteful expenditure, 31.267 million. Who is to be held accountable for this? This certainly didn't start during our administration. It started before. Let's start holding even the politicians that were there. Let's start holding them accountable. If we do not do that, then this will become a regular stuck record that this committee will continue hearing year in and year out. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honourable Reddy. I think every one of us got the same concern. Honourable Moore.
Chair, yes, I'm not going to rehash what we rehashed in the meeting, but I am concerned around the water services management. I think we're all quite clearly there. I understand, though, of course, the department has set high targets, which is why their percentage accomplishment always is lower than we could wish. But the reality is a decrease from 72 to 41 is critical. Chair, the one thing I'd like to highlight, and I don't think it's actually showing in this report, was there was a concern around the irregular expenditure, that there was an item of expenditure, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this not off the presentations, but we got two presentations, and in the one, the expenditure that was from a previous item, that was a legacy item, we were told it was going to conclude, and then in the following set of reports, it said it was continuing, and I think we need clarity on because a large chunk of this irregular expenditure, if I'm not mistaken, is a single legacy item that continues to cause problems for us. And I'm sorry, I'm talking vaguely here because, of course, now I don't have the presentations in front of me, but I think we need a response. One of the recommendations should be a report on that specific section of irregular expenditure and when the expected completion date of it, because if it's going to continue affecting the balance sheet is, quarter to quarter, we need very clear clarity on what it is and what the expectation is. And again, I'm asking this specifically, Chair, because in the one set of reports we were told it was coming to an end, and then the next set of reports, it was a continuing matter. So there's clearly, I don't want to say misinformation, but a lack of clarity, let's say, on this item. And if I need to, I'll go find out the little bits and pieces, but the department probably has an idea of what the critical point is and can address that. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honourable Remaila. Stanley, you're muted. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, and good morning to colleagues and support staff. I also want to go to the issue of water services management, Chair. And I believe I'm on record, Chair, for having persistently asked certain specific questions that relate to water services management. And for me, I would want to implore members of the portfolio committee to take this section very serious, because this is a section that talks about the support of the department to the water service authorities. And in most instances, when you ask questions about this matter, you find them wanting all the time. And I have asked persistently about their 5-year water reliability plans that must be linked to the water service development plans of the municipalities. And if you look at the AG's report, it has highlighted that matter. So in other words, I'm saying, Chair, I request at some point we have a day or in a meeting where we focus on the support of the Department of Water. So, because it doesn't have to come and sit in a portfolio committee with them complaining about the water service authorities, whilst at the same time they are not providing the necessary support that is required, Chair. And if we could really press them on this matter, then that sense on them collective responsibility, them playing oversight, us playing oversight over them, I think there would be an improvement in terms of service delivery. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Tumani, can you go to the recommendations? The concerns that the honourable members have given, can you add those into the recommendations?
Yes, Chairperson, thank you very much. Yeah, I fully concur with honorable members. The one on the irregular expenditure, we will include it to get more information, because I think that relates to the other recommendations which requested them to provide the process that is followed by the National Treasury in terms of clearing or condonation process. So that is, we are going to add that to include it there. And also the issue that Honorable Ramela just raised, obviously we will look at the programming so that then we can include this, because it's one of the our objectives in the strat plan, in our strat plan of the committee, that we need to zoom in into the support that the department is providing to municipalities so as to improve water services delivery. So I think that is in order. We will, when working with your office chairperson, when we look at the activities for the program, to include that. And the issue around the expenditure for the quarter, as raised by Honorable Reddy, that is the 42% or the 52%. It's only a certain portion that was planned to be spent in that quarter, so it's not actually the half of the total budget for the financial year. So that I can provide the numbers there. Yeah, but that is also very, very important things that members have raised, that we need really to follow up on the consequences, because all of these irregular expenditure that we are dealing with are not are legacy issues, as Mr. Moore has put it. So that is in order, Chairperson. I will add the resolutions accordingly.
Can we make the following arrangement that members, if you want to add to the resolutions or you want to change a specific resolution, would you please just send this in the WhatsApp group so that Tumani can pick it up? And then after our meeting with the Auditor-General, we can then finalize this report. Would that be in order for everybody?
That's perfectly in order, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
That's in order, Chair.
What you want to add, put it in a WhatsApp group, and we will then conclude this after that. Can I now ask honourable members, Tumani, can you maybe quickly run through the Bangkok trip, what is needed, what information you can give us, when will we get our tickets, you and Talent and Kaya, if you can help us. I see the insurance we have received, the dress code that is important. So please, Tumani, can you maybe quickly assist the members on that?
Thank you, Chairperson. I see Honorable Ramaila is the hand is up, so I'm not quite sure it's a legacy hand or.
I think it's a legacy hand. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. It was, yeah.
Yes. The plans are currently underway, so I think before perhaps maybe I deal with the program and some of the key activities that we'll deal with when we are there. I will ask Mr. Swisi to just briefly talk about the logistical arrangement in terms of traveling and accommodation. Yeah, if you can do that from your side, yeah, then I can then conclude with the overview of the program.
Alan?
All right, thank you. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members and colleagues. With regards to the trip, as Tumani has said, the logistics are still underway. We are still processing it. The approval was signed on Saturday because of some delays, but then I won't get into that. But everything is on track on our end. The flight will be, we are looking at that, they will be booked tonight. I think by tonight, all members will receive their flights, hopefully, but I am hopeful on that one. And also with the accommodation, I don't know if I must share where members will be staying, but then let me just go ahead. It will be Jasmine Grande residence in Bangkok. And then with regard to the flight, initially it was Emirates, but there might be some changes on the airline as it's depending on the availability of the seats on the flights, but you'll be updated accordingly. I will call all the members once everything has been sorted, once I have received the flight vouchers. And also a link will be shared where members will need to fill in their information in order to get their visa cards. It's not a visa per se, but it's just a card that you need to fill in, and then it must be submitted 3 days before travel. So I will communicate that one in the group. Yes, but for now, even right now, as I'm speaking, I am busy with the travel agents trying to finalize the bookings and everything else. So initially, also the dates that were communicated initially of travel, dates of travel, might the times of travel and like departure and return might change also, but you'll be updated accordingly. Yeah, I think that's it on my end. Thank you very much.
Tumani, can I just say, I'm really disappointed in how it's been, not your side, but Parliament side. You know, I informed Nosipu that the chair of chairs said to me, deal with this immediately because this travel agent is useless. Now, if on a very late stage, 3 days before we've got to issue these documents or this card, we're leaving on Saturday. We don't even know on which flight we're going. We're not even knowing when we will land there, when we will be back. The initial times you gave me, I left from one airport, other people left from other airports. So I want this finalized today, please. We can't go overseas. It's not something we're going to Cape Town, from Cape Town to Joburg. It's far away. Each and every member has got family arrangements that they need to make, and we cannot allow that Parliament is dragging out because someone is not doing their job, and now the tickets must change again. We need to finalize this today. Otherwise, I will have no option speaking to the chair of chair and deal with this matter, because this is not. I'm not satisfied with how administration is dealing with this matter.
Thank you very much, Chair. With regards to that, every single time the travel agents, when a communication comes from our side to the travel agents, the managers are also CC'd in the emails. So they know the frustrations. And I can just be honest with you and tell you that everyone is feeling it. And we've been complaining about it ever since they came on board. But then we have been promised that they will get on board and try to adjust. But as I am telling you right now, we send countless emails. I call and wait on their call for hours on end. They are just inaccessible. But we are trying our level best on the administration side, and we report each and every day to our managers and hoping that they will also escalate and try to speak to them. So
But
it's also very, very frustrating. It makes our job very,
talent,
very
I
hard.
understand that. But then your managers must escalate it to the highest level, and then get rid of these travel agent if we battle like that. It's costing Parliament a hell of a lot of money to get us there to go and learn from the best in the world, and then a few days before we are still struggling with we on which airline are we going to fly? That's unacceptable, and I would appreciate if you can carry our concern as a committee. Other members will have to speak on this as well. Um, Over to your managers. We can't accept this. We want this finalized tonight. Today, I want this finalized. There's no longer dragging out on this matter. Otherwise, I've got no option then to speak to the chair about this. Thank you. Honorable Reddy.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think you've covered it well, but not strong enough, because this travel agency we're using, they are a complete disaster. We're focusing on water and sanitation. One of the portfolio committees actually had trip cancelled, only to be reinstated the next morning. Imagine that. Members were told the trip has been cancelled. The following morning, they get a message the trip is on. This is the level of incompetence that we find in this travel agency, and something has to be done about it. But let's come back to the trip. Chairperson, with regards to that yellow card, now it's done online. I would like Talent to just check on this. There is a site that we can log on to, and we can fill this in online 3 days before departure. The next thing is, Talent, if you can please find out the weather conditions. I am told from some of my friends that are in Bangkok at the moment that the weather is very erratic. There's heavy rains, there's flooding in certain parts. I'm not sure whether where we are going to be, whether we're going to be affected by that. And also, they are it's a very cultural country. They are in mourning at the moment. The Queen died about 2 months ago. So there's certain things that we need to do, the color of the clothes that we wear and so on. If you could just pick up all those little details and send that to us as information. And finally, Chairperson, can we create a temporary group for those of us that will be on the trip to Bangkok, so that we don't just burden the entire committee? Everyone who's not coming are now reading what's happening in Bangkok. So we just keep a temporary group that we can update on a regular basis for those members that are actually traveling. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you. All the members in the committee is traveling, but it's fine if the committee wants an additional group or a separate group. That's fine. Honorable Moore.
Chair, I'd just like to re-emphasize your concerns around this. Practically, we do not have the information we need, and I think the flight times are critical. If we're leaving in the morning on Saturday, it means one thing. If we're leaving in the evening on Saturday, it means something else. We're members of Parliament. Saturdays are work days. There's critical engagements that I have now said yes to based on the flight information that we were given, and now maybe I need to say no to. So we need that information really quite urgently. I'm not going to belabor the point here, but we also need some of the practical information. There's a air warning for Thailand, so I'll bring some masks with me, but I also need to know, am I in a suit every day of this conference? Do I need to bring a raincoat? Because I know it sounds dumb, but if I go out and get bedraggled in my suit on day one, I'm going to have a very poor week is there expectation to do anything other than the conference? Are we just there for the 5 days of the conference, or is there any engagement separate to that which requires different things? If we're doing oversight to parts of the, anything in Bangkok, we might need a different way. We do oversight in different ways. So we really need more than just a picture of the brochure. We need some of the practical elements of what's happening, when's happening. Are we just attending the conference? What's the intention for where we're staying? Because at the moment, I'm very uncertain about this trip. And whilst I've engaged now with the program, and I think it's going to be very beneficial for us to attend this conference in terms of the subject matter that is being discussed. It'll be very valuable not only to us as individuals, but to the committee and to the country for us to build on this knowledge space. At the moment, this is very chaotic, and to be a week away without understanding the visa regulations, without understanding the practical requirements, is of great concern. And we're busy this week, Chair. You know what the parliamentary calendar is like as well. If we suddenly get dropped with a requirement to jump to try and get a visa allocated, and we're in Parliament from 10 in the morning on Thursday till 7:30 at night, it's going to be very challenging. So just to re-emphasize that it's not just complaining because we don't have info, it's complaining because this is a practical matter that we need to ensure so that we can properly take advantage of this opportunity. So supporting your effort, Chair. And just to say, I think if there isn't a proper response by the end of the day, first thing in the morning, the Chair of Chairs needs to get involved because we just don't have time anymore. Thank you.
Okay, so
There's
Tamani,
no visa required.
Honorable Reddy, I missed you.
Yeah, there's no visa required, Chair.
No. We're flying
for Bangkok.
also with our official passport.
Okay.
Can I quickly ask Talent the last question? The dress code and the program Tamani will deal. You just deal with the flight and the hotel. Can you maybe just indicate has the hotel that was 5 minutes away from where the venue is that still the same, or has that changed as well?
The travel agents are finalizing with confirming the availability of that hotel. It's a Jasmine Grande residence. So today, after as the meeting is proceeding, I'll hop on a call with them to try and push it as well. Because I sent an email to them, but I'm not sure with the availability. But yesterday they did assure me that they are on it, but they haven't communicated anything as yet. So I will call. Can I please update the chair, maybe probably on the side on WhatsApp once I've confirmed? Yes.
And please make sure that the hotel we sleep in, it's not a 2-star hotel. It's not as
Oh,
if we
yes.
want to stay in five-star hotels. But the fact is, we come from another country, and Parliament is spending a lot of money on this. So make sure that it is a decent hotel that we sleep in. Then,
Yes.
Talent, if you want to be excused on that now, you're welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
Follow that up. But Tamani, can you continue? I don't think you need to go through the program. We all received the program. What we want to
Yes.
know is the dress code one, and yeah, the dress code, the weather. Even if you can't do it now, please inform us then on the WhatsApp group with a detailed what we should take along, so that people can go prepared for that meeting.
Thank you, Chairperson. Yeah, I think with regard to the challenges that we are facing with logistics, we are going to write a letter through your office, Chairperson, to the senior management, just to escalate this issue, to indicate that it's serious, needs to be attended with immediate effect. So we'll take that from that point. And insofar as the conference is concerned, this is important for members of parliament, and of course we will be, when we are abroad, we are representing the country, so protocol dictates that we should be representable. So not necessarily to be wearing a suit, but I think formal clothing, a smart casual, those are type of the things that you would have to wear, because obviously most of the time will be indoors, attending sessions and so on and so forth. So I think that is insofar as the dressing code is concerned. And the issue around the weather, there are many apps that provides weather, but as far as I've seen, it keeps on changing. But we will create the group and then we will keep the members updated insofar as the issues around weather are concerned closer to the time. Now, the overview of the program, of course, what I'm going to do, the program is quite lengthy and it's divided in different sessions. So there will be technical sessions where experts in the field will be discussing some of the things in detail. And mainly this is a capacity building exercise for all of us to learn and to acquire capacity and so on. But most importantly, it's also for us to go there and also share our experiences as we are in the sector as well. So with that, I would like to bring members to there is an invitation that members have received individually with regard to the attendance of the International Regulators Forum. Which is mainly attended by invitation. So that is going to take place on the 10th. And members there, they need to respond. It's a small form that they sent you an email that you need to respond to. So, but that is on the 10th, and it's a special session that is only focusing on the regulators as we are. And insofar as the thematic areas are concerned, you can see theme 1, theme 2, theme 3, theme 4, theme 5. Theme 5 is the one that relates mainly to us. And if you look at the program going forward, then that purple color, so sessions that are marked in purple, then those relates to the issues around strengthening governance and financial systems for long-term development. It's something that the country is currently dealing with as South Africa insofar as the water sector is concerned. So it's something that members really need to capitalize on some of this, and also some of the information that we can use to strengthen the legislation that has been tabled to improve it in so many ways. So what I'm going to do, I will provide an overview of this program and also highlight key areas or sessions that I think members could attend and so on. And then we can take it from there. But obviously, when we meet, we will have a pre-briefing before we dispatch members to different sessions on the day. So I think that we can do when we are there. So I think insofar as program is concerned, I think I will park it there, Chairperson, if you may allow me to park it there in the interest of time, so that then I will provide a proper briefing notes with also recommendations for sessions going forward.
Tumani, those individual invitations, in that invitation, they want the registration numbers. So could we be forwarded to the registration number, because you can't complete that document if you don't have the registration numbers where we have been registered for this.
Or for the conference.
For the conference, yeah.
I think for now, I will check. Yes, I will check the numbers. But from my side, I was able to respond without putting any numbers there. Okay. So let us attempt to just continue without putting any numbers where the registration numbers. Yes.
Colleagues,
but I will also, from my side, alert the organizer to accommodate our members, and I will just give you the names to reserve space for all of our members.
It's fine. Thank you, colleagues, for that. I think there's still a lot of work to be done, and Tumani, maybe I would really ask you maybe to assist talent in also to make sure that we finalize this today.
Yeah, definitely. We will try to, we will put all hands on deck to try and push everything from now.
As the Honourable Moore has said, some of us, I've booked a flight out to Cape Town, from Cape Town early Saturday morning. And, because we fly, I should have flown out on Saturday night. I'm not sure when I'm flying out now. So, we still need to make then sure that everybody can get to the airport at the right time. So please deal with that matter. Can we, colleagues, break for 5 minutes? No, 2 minutes, if you don't mind. Is the Auditor-General ready on this platform, Kaya? I see they have joined.
Yes, Chairperson, they have joined, some of them.
Okay, let's just give another minute or two for everybody to join, and then we will continue with this meeting.
Okay.
AG, good morning and welcome to this meeting. We as a committee already started at 8 o'clock and we dealt with other issues. We already opened with a prayer and or meditation. We already dealt with apologies. May I just ask whether there's any apologies from your side as the AG?
Morning, Honorable Chair. There is no apologies on our side. My principal, Mr. Andres, is on the call. I thought he was the one who's going to respond, but I think we are all here.
Thank you very much. AG, I will allow you 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Let's deal with this in 30 minutes. You don't need to start with your presentation, with your values and missions. We as a committee have been hearing that now along. So just dig into, my apology, into the work. You are here to inform us. You may continue now. My apology for that. AG, you're more than welcome to start. Do you have sharing rights, co-host, so that you can plot your presentation?
Chair, I see Andres trying to speak, but I can't hear him. Please confirm if you can hear Andres.
No, we can't hear him. We can hear you, but we can't hear him.
Yes, I see he was unmuted and speaking on video, but I don't think we could hear him.
Can you maybe flight your presentation again?
Yes, while he's trying to sort out his mic, he asked me to maybe ahead. So we don't know why he's struggling to be audible. But
Yeah,
I think
you can continue. It's fine.
yes, I will continually sorting it out. Good morning, honorable members. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to engage the committee on the work that we've done from water sector perspective. I think from our side, I got the message clear, Chair, that we must keep the mission, the vision. But I think maybe a bit of a background of why we are here. As you are aware, as a committee, water is important to all of us. And then we really embarked on the journey of, as the office of the AGSA, to be able to try and put together a report that highlights some of the challenges within the water sector. So traditionally what we'll do is we will audit the national departments and entities, and then we'll brief the committee, and then we'll then start with the audits of the water boards as well, which have a slightly different year end, and then we'll conclude. And then our colleagues within the provinces will then also then look at them audits of the water service authorities while they are busy with their normal MFMA audits. So usually then the messages will sort of be fragmented in a way and would not really be able to pull together a picture that tells a story of the messages within the water value chain. So in the current year, we really, this is the first report, Honorable Chair and members, we really attempted to really pull these messages together so that we are able to have a message of the water value chain. So one of the things that already we picked up as a challenge is the timing of the report. And mainly because, like I said, the different year ends of the entities we audit and the different reporting timelines then did impact. And I think we found ourselves having a conversation that says, when is really the best time for us to release this report? And you would notice, for example, in the slides that we have, the audit outcomes we have are actually old audit outcomes, especially for audits like the national departments and entities, because we've engaged this committee in October. The water boards also concluded their audits in October. I don't think they've tabled their annual reports, and the municipalities just concluded their audit reports on Sunday, 13 November. So we really set as a team to say, when is the best time to really release this report? And I think, like I said, this is our first time releasing it, and we are hoping that the messages are still relevant, even though some messages might be slightly outdated for some of them. Of the governments. I think for us, like I said, because this is our first report, we really try to go back to the basics. So for us, we are saying this is a silver bullet of saying if they do this, everything is going to be fixed. But we are saying we need to start somewhere as the sector. So we went back to basics, and we only covered a few areas that we really believe are the fundamental building blocks of trying to then resolve the problem that we have within the water sector. And we believe that if we start here and we do additional work, we should really be in a good place for the value chain, water value chain, to then continue. So what we covered, what you'd see is we unpacked the water value chain, the committee, and then I would be familiar that we used to have a slightly different value chain. So we sort of redesigned the value chain to be able to show the two areas of the water resource management and water service management. We then, in the slides, you'll see where we cover what we audited and where we audited, as well as the main findings that we have. What we also did this time around with our call to action, as I said, for us was to say, let's go back to the basics. We then went back to the legislations to say, what are the responsibilities of the different role players according to legislation? And then from that point of view, we then set out our recommendations. We have engaged various stakeholders that are involved within the process. We've engaged the Minister of, it was the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, together with the DG and the team. We have engaged COCTA, which is both the DG as well as the Minister. We've engaged entities like SALGA, MISA, because for us, we realize that if there's so many role players within the value chain, and if we're going to really see a change, everybody must then come to the party. The teams in the provinces are engaging their respective leadership, whether it's the MMs and the mayors on the water, on the outcomes, but their feedback is really combined with the normal audit outcomes. So we really make sure that we are covering all stakeholders or role players within the water sector so that we are able to get everybody having the same message and pulling in one direction. So, Chair, I think that is my opening remarks. Jolene will be taking us through the presentation. I think we got the messages from the chair of the time. But before I go, I also want to also say I'm not alone. I'm with the team from the provinces as well, because the work that we do is really a multidisciplinary team, and there's a lot of people that we involve within the office. So there are colleagues from the provinces supporting us today. So the honorary chair members shouldn't be shocked if there's a time of questions and then we are calling some of our colleagues in the provinces to then engage with the committee. I think for us it was important that we bring the team together and we are able to engage and ensure that this is a fruitful engagement. So that's it from my side, Chair. I'm going to hand over to Jolene, who is going to take you through the rest of the presentation. Over to you, Jolene.
Good morning, Honourable Chair, to the honourable members and to everyone on the call. I will take over from the water value chain, which we have included in our water report. I'm sure that the members are very familiar. I will just give you a brief overview. So we do have a circular value chain, noting that water flows from our natural water resources. It goes through a processing system until it eventually reaches back to our water resources. In our value chain, we have a blue block where we highlight the responsibilities relating to the management of water resources. And in the green block, we speak to responsibilities for the management of water services. If we start off with the water resources on the left-hand side, we note that the national government, acting through the department, is responsible for managing water resources, treating raw water and distributing water to local government, who is then responsible through the water service authorities for delivering water to consumers and for dealing with wastewater. In that same block, for water resources particularly, the department is the custodian of water resources in South Africa, and they are mandated to promote the effective and efficient water management of water resources, and also to ensure that there is sustainable supply resulting in sustainable economic and social development. As part of this, and you'll see that we have also included the names of the entities that are responsible for the various responsibilities. And then as part of this, the catchment management agencies also play a significant role in the management of water resources. And they are responsible also for mitigating the impact of challenges such as droughts, floods, and declining water quality to also ensure an equitable and sustainable water supply. We then move on to the raw water infrastructure, where we note that the TCTA is responsible for financing and implementing bulk raw water infrastructure projects, and the water trading entity is responsible for the development, the operation and maintenance of national water resource infrastructure. And also as part of national government, the water boards are responsible for providing bulk water services to other water service institutions by maintaining bulk water infrastructure and supplying potable water. If we move on to the green block, that relates to responsibilities of the water service authorities, who are mainly responsible for ensuring access to water supply services and maintaining local sewer systems, wastewater treatment works, and water treatment works. And in our value chain, we then show the movement or their responsibilities from the treatment of raw water through to the distribution to users, the management of infrastructure on that level as well, and including then their responsibilities for collecting wastewater, treating the wastewater before disposing of it back into our water resource systems. We then move on to the areas that we audited and where we audited it. So in this audit report, we are focusing on 4 key areas of concern. As part of our culture shift strategy, we have performed several work on several focus areas, but throughout all of those, we've determined that they are essentially 4 important things that must be addressed to improve on the delivery of water in this value chain. The first area is around the preparation and updating of water service development plans, which is necessary to ensure sustainable provision of water services. We did perform this procedures around this across 97 water service authorities as we conducted our regularity audits, and that included 3 metropolitan municipalities, 13 district municipalities, and 81 local municipalities. The second area we will be talking about is the delivery of new infrastructure projects, where our performance audit team had selected critical service delivery projects. This is necessary for the provision of water infrastructure projects, and as well as to eradicate backlogs and to meet increasing water demands. We audited projects at 36 selected water service authorities, including all the metros. We performed work at all of the water boards except for Overberg and Rand Water. And at national, we also looked at these projects at the Trans-Caledon Tunnel Authority and the Water Trading Entity. The third area is around the management and maintenance of existing infrastructure, where we note that this is important to ensure optimal functionality of the water value chain, to deliver clean water and prevent pollution of water sources, and as well as pollution of the environment. We performed work at 7 water boards, the Water Trading Entity, 135 water service authorities. Just to explain there that while there are 144 water service authorities, 9 of those were outstanding at the time that we had tabled our general report. So we will speak to the 135 water service authorities. And also the work was performed at specifically around the wastewater treatment works, where we performed work at 13 water service authorities, which included the 8 metros and 5 selected municipalities. And the fourth area that we will be talking to is the implementation of water conservation and demand management strategies, which is important to ensure the sustainable and equitable use of water resources. And we audited that at the Department of Water and Sanitation. Chair, we will then move on to a reflection on the 23-24 audit outcomes. We do expand on this in the water report itself. I think Tabelo had also indicated the reason why we are reflecting on 23-24 being all audits completed as of this point. We note that at a national level, the For that year, the Department of Water and Sanitation, WTE and TCTA, as well as all 7 water boards, were unqualified with findings. Ideally, we would want all of the entities to be clean, which means no findings at all. And in respect of the water service authorities, we are noting that there were only 23 out of the 135 water service authorities that were clean. And the remaining ones were either had findings on their compliance with legislation, as well as their findings on their performance information. And so we then move on to the audit outcomes per province, where we won't go into the detail of everything that is included in here, except to say that we noted that at more than 50% of the municipalities in Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Northern Cape, and the Free State, that more than 50% of those municipalities had qualified opinions, meaning that they were either qualified or they had disclaimer findings or adverse findings. Chair won't go through the detail. We continue to elaborate on the findings on the financial statements, the performance reports, and compliance with legislation. The detail is in our water report. I'm going to move on to our actual findings that we wanted to discuss with you today. And we start off with water service development plans not prepared or updated. These plans form the basis from which water service authorities plan for the provision of water services. The plan also informs the current and future water services needs, as well as the operation, maintenance, repair, and replacement of existing and future water infrastructure. The Water Services Act requires water service authorities to prepare and regularly update these plans and to report on their implementation to the Minister of Water and Sanitation. We had identified through the audit process that 25 water service authorities did not have these water service development plans, and 6 water service authorities did not update their water service development plans within the last 5 years. Together, this amounts to about, I think, more than 33% or more than a third of the water service authorities that either did not have a plan or did not update their plan. We also noted that there were no evidence provided to confirm the existence or updates of plans at 3 water service authorities, and these findings were mainly in the Free State and in the Northern Cape. Of the 63 water service authorities that had updated water service development plans, 6 of them did not report to the department on the implementation of their water service development plans. In our water report itself, we do include examples of our findings, and one of the examples relating to that is the Soplaki local municipality in the Northern Cape that did not have a water service development plan. And as a result of not having that plan, they also did not have an operations and maintenance plan or an environmental protection plan. And as a result, the municipality did not determine its backlog in the provision for water services. It did not perform water infrastructure condition assessments to inform maintenance activities, and they could not properly plan for the maintenance of existing infrastructure. And the lack of maintenance at the municipality contributed to high water losses, which were recorded at 66% in the 23-24 financial year. As a result of the issues on maintenance, it resulted in a disruption of supply, and as a result, they had to use water tankering services to provide access to basic water supply in some communities. And for the year under review, that amounted to 1.6 million rand spent on these services. And The lack of appropriate measures to maintain the wastewater treatment works had also resulted in untreated water being discharged into the surrounding water sources, and this had caused harm to the health of users who were dependent on these water sources. As part of the audit process for the Sol Plaatje municipality, we had issued a material irregularity to the accounting officer, and we have noted that the accounting officer has since taken action to address the environmental issues, including the repairs and maintenance of the wastewater treatment works. When we looked at this section, we also identified root causes for the findings, and we noted that councils do not hold municipal managers accountable. There's poor coordination amongst the water sector role players and a lack of monitoring and enforcement of consequences by DWS and the members of the Executive Council for Local Governments. And we further noted inadequate institutional capability, including vacancies, a lack of skills, and instability in leadership. We then move on to our second area, which is around infrastructure project delivery failures. Here we are looking at new projects that have been implemented across the water value chain. When we looked at this, we identified that there are essentially two key findings in this area. The first is around delayed projects, and the second is around the poor quality of construction. We note that the delays in water infrastructure affect the functioning of the entire water value chain and has an impact on ensuring that all citizens have access to water. We also note that any delays that are experienced on a national level, for example, delays with dam projects, this has a negative impact on the provision of water to water boards, and a knock-on effect after that is that there are delays in terms of the provision of water to water service authorities, ultimately impacting on the consumers. We're also noting that where there are delays at a water service authority, such delays result in the backlogs of water provision not being addressed in a timely manner, and affecting water availability to residents. When we looked at our findings, essentially indicate that of the all the projects that we looked at, 47 of them had findings, and 32. We identified 32 delayed projects with an average delay of 32 months. The delays that we've identified occurred at all water service authorities in all provinces except the Western Cape, and cost overruns occurred in all provinces except the Western Cape and Northwest. In the slide, we also analyze the average delay for these projects at water entities on a national level, being WT and TCTA, where we noted average delays of 62 months. And with the water boards, we looked at 7 projects and we've identified delays of 64 months. And across all of the water service authorities, there was an average delay of 25 months. Chair, we had in the past also reported with our audit outcomes, the work that we've done on our projects, and we've also provided several examples of delayed projects and the impact that this has in ensuring that an adequate and reliable supply of water is provided to the communities. When we looked at the infrastructure projects, we identified root causes, and key root causes identified is the lack of institutional capability, which impacted on water project planning, implementation, and management. Weaknesses in project planning and procurement processes caused by project delays, a lack of accountability and consequence management across the water value chain against contractors and officials responsible for poor project delivery, and poor project implementation practices across the water value chain. We then move on to the work that we did on infrastructure maintenance, and we also note that the inadequate maintenance has a significant impact on water supply interruptions, which has been experienced across all of the provinces, as you all know. We also noting that inadequate maintenance results in high water losses. For the 23-24 year, the water service authorities had reported in their financial statements water losses that amount to 14.89 billion. And of these water service authorities, 74 of them exceeded the norm that had been set by National Treasury of 30%. We also note the work that has been done by the department through their green drop reports, where they had reported poor drinking water quality risks, where they identified non-compliance across various water service authorities, and poor drinking water quality has a significant impact on the health of the consumers. In their green drop reports, they also refer to poor effluent quality, where 90% of the wastewater treatment works have failed at least one quality standard. And this has a significant impact on the environment and the water sources in the disposal process. And we had also identified that there has been pollution from untreated wastewater harm ecosystems, which impact health and drinking water quality. We noted that due to the impact that a lack of maintenance has on the reliability of supply, that a lot of the water service authorities are using water tankers to provide this essential service. And these the costs of these water tankering services amounted to 2.32 billion for the year under review across 59 municipalities. And we also identify that of this amount, an amount of 419 million had been spent irregularly. In terms of our findings, we noted at the WTE, Amatola, and Rand Water that the spending was below the National Treasury norm of between 1.8% and 2.2% of water infrastructure assets. We identified that the water service authorities spent on average only 3% of the value of their property, plant, and equipment on repairs and maintenance, which was below the benchmark that had been set of 8%. And we noted that at the department, or WTE specifically, that only 39% of what they had planned for infrastructure maintenance had actually occurred. And we noted that 30 water service authorities, 9 of which are in the Northern Cape, did not have any water maintenance plans, and no evidence was provided to confirm the existence of plans at 4 water service authorities. And in respect of non-compliance with environmental law, we noted that there were no maintenance plans for wastewater infrastructure at all of the 13 water service authorities where procedures were performed. We then move on to the last of the 4 areas, which is the implementation of water conservation and demand management strategies. This is quite an important strategy, especially in a country like South Africa that has scarce water resources. And in that respect, it is important for the success of the strategy that there is proper planning, that there is efficient and effective project management being implemented around new projects, that there is also proper maintenance of infrastructure to be able to see the success of the strategy. And as we reported previously, these are areas that are a cause for concern, and therefore we're saying that essentially water conservation and demand management has not been implemented effectively in South Africa. We also note that the department had prepared a water conservation and demand management strategy in 2004. And as part of that strategy, the catchment management agencies play a significant role in helping to manage water resources and to manage the implementation of water conservation and demand management. We note that there were only 2 catchment management agencies that had been established in 2006 and 2008, and the remaining 4 catchment agencies were established in April 2024. At this point, the department is in the process of capacitating them to ensure that they can fulfill their functions. So this is an important element that must be addressed over the next year to ensure that the catchment management agencies are performing their role as mandated. We also note in the report the work that has been done by the department on the no-drop reports, and we note that based on the findings, it further confirms that water conservation and demand management is not effectively implemented. The report notes that water service authorities did not submit information to assess their systems and processes. That was in respect of 24 water service authorities. We noted that 46 water service authorities that were rated as critical failed to provide information on their water balance data. Most of the water service authorities in the Eastern Cape, Free State, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and Northern Cape lacked evidence of a consumer meter replacement program, and availability of skilled staff to implement the strategy was a concern at 74 water service authorities that were assessed as poor or critical. The management of water resources and the time taken to repair water leaks was a concern at 83 water service authorities, and we noted that action plans had not been submitted by 60 of 64 poorly performing water service authorities. We looked at the root causes for this, and we identified little coordination or cooperation between DWS and water service authorities, a lack of institutional capability and accountability by water service authorities, lack of enforcement and consequences over water service authorities, and risks related to the establishment of the catchment management agencies identified late in the process and not properly managed. So Chair, that is the 4 key service delivery findings that we've identified. Our water report also reflects on the material irregularities that have been identified across the water value chain. We've divided it here into 3 categories. The first is around irregularities identified at the department and the water trading entity, where we've identified 6 material irregularities relating to financial loss, estimated at 443 million. We've identified 2 material irregularities related to substantial harm to the general public. And we note that 56.9 million of the financial losses incurred are in the process of being recovered. When we looked at the water boards, it was only Umgeni that had material irregularities. There were 8 that have been identified in total with an estimated amount of 145 million. We do detail in the slides the nature of these losses, and we note that 46 million of the 145 million is in the process of being recovered. When we look at the water service authorities, we have identified 41 material irregularities relating to financial loss at an estimated amount of 1.17 billion rands. There were 76 material irregularities relating to substantial harm to the general public. This essentially related to the work that we did on wastewater treatment works, where we identified effluents being disposed into our water systems that was polluting the water resources. And in respect of these material irregularities, we've noted that 90 million of that is in the process of being recovered. So those were our material irregularities. We then move on, Chair, to our last slide, which is our call to action. When we look at the findings that we have identified, we noted overall root causes being the inadequate coordination and collaboration across the water sector due to fragmented planning and inconsistent reporting. There was inadequate institutional capability, including vacancies, skills, and instability in leadership. And we also identified poor monitoring, weak accountability, and lack of consequences as a concern. We have made recommendations to executive authorities as well as to oversight, and we've divided them into 4 different categories. When our recommendations to the Minister of Water and Sanitation is that there must be established a structured monitoring and evaluation framework to track the implementation of the water conservation demand management strategy with defined performance indicators, regular reporting mechanisms, and clear accountability lines. The Minister must continue to implement coordination mechanisms with provinces and water service authorities through intergovernmental forums or task teams with defined objectives, support the full operationalization of catchment management agencies, enabling localized and inclusive water governance, to provide oversight over the preparation and implementation of the water service development plans, and to provide effective oversight of corrective action plans implemented by all the water entities at a national level, DWS, WTE, TCTA, and the water boards, specifically to address delays in infrastructure projects and maintenance. We made recommendations applicable to the Minister of Water and Sanitation and the Minister and MECs for local government to monitor the performance of water service authorities to ensure compliance with national standards and their water service development plans. The Minister of Water and Sanitation, in consultation with the Minister of COGTA, should request MECs for local government to intervene if a water service authority has not performed their legislated functions. The Minister of Water and Sanitation must intensify engagements with the Minister of COGTA and MECs for local government to foster greater collaboration and provide guidance on the development and implementation of action plans, specifically for the no drop, blue drop, and green drop reports, as well as the implementation of water infrastructure, and that the Minister should track and ensure implementation of the commitments from the 2025 Water and Sanitation Indaba. We do believe that for the water service authorities, the mayors and councils of water service authorities play a critical role, and they must monitor development and the development and implementation of the water service development plans aligned to infrastructure needs, the budgeting thereof, and the water conservation demand management strategy. They must monitor and reduce water losses by prioritizing investment in infrastructure maintenance, compliance with set norms and standards, and strengthening municipal accountability. And they must hold municipal managers accountable to ensure there's adequate institutional capability to provide water services in technical and project management roles and the operational staff responsible for water treatment works. And they must ensure or be held accountable to ensure compliance with effluent quality standards, and they need to address the failures in the wastewater treatment works as a matter of urgency. And then to the portfolio committees, for the portfolio committee of water and sanitation, we are recommending that you hold accounting officers and accounting authorities of water sector auditees at a national level accountable for poor performance, non-compliance with legislation, and to ensure consequence management. And to the provincial portfolio committees responsible for local government, they should hold water service authorities accountable for the non-preparation of water service development plans and the non-submission of data to DWS that is required for the monitoring and or the action plans to address the deficiencies that have been identified. Thank you, Chair. I'll hand back to Tabelo. Thank you, Tabelo.
No, thank you, Jolene. I think Hop's mic is working. Through. Andres,
no, thank
are
you.
you sorted now?
Thank you. We can hand over to it. I think we've taken a little bit long to do the presentation in terms of what was allocated. So let's engage the members. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you, Honorable Members. Thank you to the team.
Thank you, AG. Look, we can only take note of the problems in the water sector, and we cannot scrutinize what you've done. Thank you very much for what you have done, for sending us this report. I think on the recommendations, we take note of them, and I think colleagues will then ask questions on the way forward and how we as a committee deal with this. We earlier had a meeting on our recommendations, and the committee was very adamant to be harsh on the department on certain issues where there is shortcomings that will be taken to Parliament on the first and second quarter. I now hand over to Honourable Reddy. You can start the questioning if there is any questions.
Thank you, Chairperson. Am I audible?
You are audible, thank you.
Thank you very much. Chairperson, I want to thank the AG and the team that did the presentation here. And I can tell you that it's brought goosebumps and shivers up my spine listening to what we've heard today. You know, I've been vindicated. I think I've been one of those members in this committee that has been very hard on holding the officials in the water department accountable for what we saw as persistent failures. Now, what has been revealed today is quite shocking, to say the least. 46% of drinking water systems are unsafe. Then we are told that 44% fail chemical safety. You know what this means? It means that the water that's coming out of the taps may poison you. We are also told by the AG, this is an independent organization, that 99% of wastewater treatment plants are failing in this country. And we now have a figure that we can put to this water that's being lost through leaks. 14.89 billion rands worth of water lost every year due to leaks. And municipalities are spending to over 2 billion rands on water tankers, and 419 million rands of that irregular. Infrastructure projects are delayed on average by 32 months. 96% of municipalities are failing basic maintenance standards. This is disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful. And I believe that after hearing this presentation, we cannot just leave this here. It requires a sort of a focused campaign by this committee to take each of these items, hold our officials, hold the water boards, hold the municipalities accountable, because the losers in all of this are our people. Nobody else but our people. And today we find that we are failing them, and something has to be done about this, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is a comment and not questions. Honourable Kobe?
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to your good self and my colleagues, fellow honourable members, and also the AG. Chair, maybe let me start by really commending the AG. I think they always give us an excellent overview of exactly what's happening within the water sector. And it's quite simplified. I think an average person can really follow it and actually understand the issues that are there. Chair, I think one of the issues that maybe as a way forward for our portfolio committee, I'm not going to repeat the issues that were found out, but I mean, a municipality like Salt Lake, which has, lacks maintenance plans and just has water loss of 66%, and they spent 1.6 million on water tankers. Absolutely no accountability, Chair, and no plans. I think what would be worthwhile for us as a portfolio committee going forward, especially in next year when the 2026 elections will be kicking off. And I think it would be worthwhile for our portfolio committee to visit provinces. And when we do, we have municipalities come and account to us when we do oversight, Chair, collectively, or even if it's online, Chair. I think the municipalities believe that nobody sees actually what they're doing. And it would be worthwhile for us to have regular reporting that would actually assist us and even improve the green drop and the blue drop that's going to be coming out in later years. I believe the standards have severely deteriorated, and it's because nobody is watching what any of these water service authorities or water boards are doing. The lack of coordination really does require us as a portfolio committee to sort of start bundling them together and get accountability on that level. And maybe that would improve not only their internal systems as well, but also the coordination of the various actors within the water value chain. So, Chair, for me, I think one of the water boards that came and gave us an excellent view of what they're doing is Overberg. And I think the value in that, when they mentioned, is that they keep track of it and they have regular meetings. So quarterly reporting of exactly what's happening, what needs to be improved. And I think it would be valuable for us as a portfolio committee to start visiting provinces, bringing municipalities in and water boards at the same time, and see how best we can really start looking into these problems and forcing them to also start institutionalizing some reforms on their end as well. Thanks, Chair. I think that's my only comment, and really well done to the AG on an excellent report. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Kegakilwe.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, AG and the team, DG, as well as honorable members, our parliamentary staff. Good morning, Chairperson. Let me also applaud the AG for always coming to give us report, make it a point that we understand. So, Chair, I just want to find out from AG, because from the findings, especially regarding the material irregularities for water and sanitation department, as well as the water trading entity. The finding was 443.5 million, and only 56 million is in the process of being recovered. I'm not sure if the remaining one is going to be overlooked, or there's still going to be something, or what did the department tell the AG as to how is this money going to be recovered. Same thing applies to water and service authorities, from 1.17 billion and then only 90.4 million recovered or prevented or being in the process of being recovered. The second person is with regard, no, it's not a question, this one, Chairperson, it's a concern for me. For the department, as compared to whatever reports we have been getting, to be at 39% of our water infrastructure maintained, that percentage is very low. It's very low. Looking at our situation, our people, they need water, but if we fail to maintain, then we are not going to win this problem of water issues. And then the last thing, Chair, is with regard to the replacement of consumer meters by Eastern Cape, Free State, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and Northern Cape. I'm not sure if the situation is still the same, because for 2024, there was a grant whereby the municipalities were expected to apply to be assisted with the replacement of meters. And if that thing is still the same, then our department, together with COCTA, they must force these municipalities to apply for such grants and replace the meters. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. AG, I'm not sure whether you can answer that, but can you maybe answer on the questions of the material losses? AG, can you maybe respond?
Thank you so much, Chair. My colleagues are here. Tembile will speak to the material irregularities. I think with the Water Service Authority, I don't know if some of my colleagues from the provinces they are able to respond together to the one on the meters. I'm not sure if my colleagues from the province will be able to take that one, but Tembile will definitely take the one on the water treatment on the MI. Tembile?
Yes. Good morning, Chairperson and members of the committee. So with regards to the water trading entities' material irregularities, what we've noted is that there has been some consequence management that have been done, where we saw employees or officials that were implicated in causing that material irregularity either being fired or, yes, some have resigned. We have been following up with the department together with the trading entity in terms of the financial recovery processes that they are embarking on. We have kept the material irregularity open so that we can continuously follow up in terms of the processes that they're taking in recovering some of the losses that they have incurred. So we will be reporting in the current year in terms of how far they are with that process. And then in terms of repairs and maintenance, yes, in the prior year, or 23-24, we reported that 39%. Subsequently, we have seen some improvement in terms of the repairs and maintenance done by the water trading entity, as there was improvement in terms of the budget spend and also the percentage of repairs and maintenance in terms of they did what they planned to do. They didn't achieve it, but they were, I'm not sure about the percentage, but they were improvements that we saw in the current year. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honourable Member, are you satisfied? I think the question on the meters, we need to deal with that with the department or then via COCTA.
Thank you, Chair, for the response. I'm satisfied.
Thank you. Honourable Ramaila.
Thank you, Chair, and greetings to officials from AGSA. And let me also appreciate the report. And the part that I would maybe want to look at is in as far as details are concerned, because this is more of an executive report to the members. The report, especially when it comes to MIs, aggregating to specific WSAs so that we get empowered to really drill deep into specifics in as far as those municipalities are concerned. I think that would be very important for us to get such info. I'm worried about the MIs in as far as the water trading entity is concerned. It is indicated that the financial loss recovery that is in the process of being recovered is 56.93 million out of the 443.58 million. So what about the balance? if we could have details as to, as they've alluded to, a mechanism indicating how the balance is going to be recovered. And that information will also again help us, empower us to really question with specifics. But I'm also worried about the water trading entity. That has been 2 payments for goods and services not received. It is fraud. And if we could be told whether a fraud case has been opened, obviously the water entity must tell us that, or the department must be able to tell us, but that is fraud. How can that happen? I think some of the information that we really need to have, in as far as Mugeni is concerned as well, 145.25 million MIs, that's quite a lot. And there's also 3 payments for goods and services not received. That's fraud. What has happened is the case been open as far as that is concerned. Added on top of that is unfair or uncompetitive or uneconomical procurement. We do not have specific figures, and that also relates to water treatment entities as to the payments for goods and services that have not been received. How much is the figure in both sides? So that we can be able to ask what steps have been taken really against those. But for me, those are the issues that I really need clarity on. Thank you. Okay, now the last one, Chair, is that is of concern to me, because if you look at the average number of months in as far as delayed projects are concerned, for TCTA and the water trading entity is averagely 62 months. That is more than 5 years. And the boards is 64 months. Same. That's worrying. For the double SAs is 25 months. How does it happen that these projects, I understand some are dams, but 62 months average is quite a lot. And therefore we may need, Chair, an explanation from both trading entity, TCTA, and the department to come and explain that matter to us, including the boards. I think those boards that are affected to come and explain this matter to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. AG, before you answer that, can I maybe just ask, you have presented this report to the department or to the minister, as well as COCTA. Have you received any feedback on that? If you also can maybe answer on that. Thank you. You continue on answering the questions.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I'll start with taking some of the responses. So the last one, indeed, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, we did discuss the report with the accounting officers in all the respective portfolios, even including the COCTA portfolio, which included the CEO of SALGA and the CEO of MISA, and then as well as the executive authorities of both portfolios. Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, just a point of clarification. You would recall that at some point in time, the Honorable Minister of Water was not feeling well. So at that particular point in time, we engaged the 2 DMs. She had delegated the 2 DMs to deal with the matter. So we then duly proceeded, but she was informed with regard to the report and the findings. So the feedback we received, the report was well received. We also received some commitments and some context with regard to some of the recommendations, but Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, generally there was an agreement in terms of the finding, and then also some of the things that the portfolio is doing in this regard. I think Stembile has tried to also mention with regard to the the maintenance question that came up earlier, that because of the timing of the report, the department and some of the officials have already started responding to our comments, and hence ours will then be to also follow up and make sure that we follow up on the rate of implementation of our recommendations in the coming years. Especially this year will be critical once we've tabled and formalized the report now here with the portfolio committee. Honorable Chair, honorable members, then Stembile will also deal with the detail of the WTE payment on the MIs, but there was also a question from Honorable Ramaila on the details of the MIs for the water service authorities. Honorable Chair, we do have that detail. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was in the detail report. So there is a detail report we'll table, but we can always share the detail with the honorable members as well. That's no problem. We can certainly avail the detail with the honorable members. Through you, Chair, I'm going to then hand over to Stembile, who will deal with the detail of the two payments on the WTE. Chair, before maybe I hand over, I'm also very clear that the honorable member also asked a question with regard to the balance and the recovery of the big amount of the MIs. I think Stembile covered that one as well, Chair, as part of the previous question where she mentioned that we will be doing follow-ups this year, and we've kept the balance open just to make sure that indeed recovery does take place and that it doesn't fall by the wayside. You would recall the business of the WTE, Chair, that they have to bill and then they have to recover as well. Just because you've billed doesn't mean that you are recovering. And then we also have to be mindful of the prescriptions. We have to keep pressure on them just to make sure that indeed the financial recoveries are made. So we'll do those follow-ups. With your permission, Chair, Stay, you can take over and then respond on the two issues of the detail of the amounts. That's how I have the question. Thanks. Through you, Chair. Stay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andres. Okay, so I'll start with the first one relating to payments made in vain, relating to repairs and maintenance, which was the emergency work that was done at Usutu Val Pump Station. With that MI that we raised, there was when the team and the department went to check on the work that was done by the service provider, they noted that the work that was supposed to be done was not done satisfactory. However, the officials of the department did sign off to say that the work was done, and hence the service provider was partly paid for some of the work that he's done. When he wanted the balance, the department indicated that not everything was done to the satisfactory levels, but there has been legal opinions or legal activities that have been done, including by the state attorney, where they subsequently, what we noted in the current year was that the service provider needed to be paid for the work that was done, as the department could not provide sufficient evidence that the work was not sufficiently done. Therefore, the legal opinion was that the service provider needed to be paid, and the department does not have a leg to recover monies from that particular service provider. However, there is ongoing investigations or disciplinary processes from the people that were implicated or the officials that were implicated on those matters. Same as the one relating to the standing time, where there was a confusion, if I may put it in that manner, where the service provider did not use the correct loading cells for the finalization of the project that's relating to the Hazelmere Dam. They as well, after a lot of legal activities or illegal battles between the department and the said service provider, it was noted that the service provider initially wasn't provided sufficient evidence to indicate which type of loading cells was needed for the specific project, and therefore legally the department did not have grounds to pursue that service provider to recover for the standing time cost that they incurred. As well, in this case, the people that were or the officials that were implicated relating to this particular matter were either dismissed, and some they are still in the process of going through the disciplinary processes. Like I've mentioned before, the recovery of financial losses that were incurred, we're still following up on those matters. We have been asking the department in terms of what is happening with those matters, but there seem to be some legal issues around that. But yeah, it's something that we are following up and will be following up in the coming year. So that will be on the material irregularities. And then relating to the delayed projects at TCTA, we have been raising this issue, and I think most of the issues relating to the delays in the projects at TCTA, some of them, they are within their control, and some of them, they are not within their control, as they needed things like environmental authorization, approvals from the department, which resulted in delays in some of the projects that they're working on, or there was legal implications or complexities. And also there was that instruction note 3 of 2021, which was issued requiring that the entity first secure funding before they can procure. So those are some of the challenges that they had in terms of moving the project forward, but some of them they could have dealt with them, such as the procurement strategy changes. If they had planned proper, those things would have been sorted right at the beginning of the procurement processes. And yes, there are delays in terms of appointing the main contractors and PSPs and some of the projects, which we've highlighted to the entity to ensure that they plan better when it comes to the procurement processes, and liaise with the department in terms of which projects they are going to embark on, so that they are both the department and the entity are aligned in terms of the activities that need to take place, so that they avoid the delays in the projects. I think those were the two questions relating to WTE and TCTA. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You want to add, Jolene?
Yes, Chair, if we can ask Jolene to add on the Umgeni conversation. Thanks, Chair. Thank you, Jolene.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to provide a status update. We have concluded our audits for the 24-25 year at the end of October. And just a bit of an update on Umgeni. So of the 8 material irregularities that were outstanding at the end of 2024, 5 of them have been resolved, which means that when our teams assessed the actions that were taken by the accounting officers, they determined that appropriate steps were being taken. There are currently 3 remaining material irregularities. We can also confirm in terms of cases opened that the material irregularities that were outstanding have been referred to the SIU. The investigations have been completed, and management is in the process of implementing consequence management processes. There have been some delays in this respect because they are dependent on the SIU to assist with the charges for that. I think in terms of the 3 that were outstanding, there were 2, where it was determined that appropriate actions were taken, but the team did raise a concern around one of the material irregularities for standing time costs incurred, where they were concerned that management had not taken appropriate action in terms of disciplinary processes that have been outstanding for at least 2 years. Chair, I don't have details on the amount that is currently that has been recovered in terms of the amount that we have disclosed. However, when we do come back to you to discuss the water board outcomes, we can provide you with more information around the total amount that has been recovered. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honourable member, are you satisfied with the responses?
Yes, Chair, except that I didn't hear about referrals to investigating authorities in as far as WTE is concerned. Thank you, Chair. Otherwise, I'm covered.
Honourable member, if I understood them correctly, that action has been taken by the department. Am I correct, AG?
Yes, Honorable Chair. The department is busy with investigations, and yes, I did omit to indicate that one of the, or as part of that one MI, the service provider has been referred to SIU for further investigation on the pump station, on the matters relating to the pump station or the pumping costs that were not done correctly, or maintenance of the pumping station.
Thank you very much. Honourable Remaila, are you satisfied?
Happy, Chair. Thank you.
Honourable Dlelanga, welcome back. You are muted. Honourable Dlelanga. It seems he's struggling. Honourable Moore.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the AGSA for the work that they are doing in the presentation. I think they're a critical partner for us in this space, and an absolute necessary ally as we try and tackle the challenges. Chair, I want to do something slightly different. I think I've been partially covered in my questions, but I'd like to ask them clearly. The three questions, I'd like to start with number one on the maintenance underspend. AGSA shows that almost all water service authorities spend far below the 8% maintenance benchmark, and even some national entities and water boards are below Treasury norms. And I wanted to ask the AG, from your audits, is this mainly a revenue constraint, a budgeting choice, or a capacity issue? And what single lever should Parliament and our committee focus on first to change this behavior, in your opinion? The second question is on regards with non-revenue water and pollution. With a massive non-revenue water losses and 99% of water treatment works failing at least one standard from your investigations, where in the value chain do you see accountability as weakest? Is it the national department, the water boards, or the WSAs? I imagine the WSAs, but I'd appreciate your answer on that. And can you think of a specific oversight action by this committee which would have the biggest impact? And then finally, Chair, to the AGSA on the material irregularities and consequences, the AGSA has highlighted over 1.7 billion rand in material irregularities with relatively limited recovery so far. And what concrete reporting and follow-up mechanism do you recommend that we could adopt to make sure every one of these cases is tracked to finality with recoveries and consequences rather than just being noted and forgotten? Because consequence management is absolutely critical, but obviously as a portfolio committee, we're constrained in terms of the avenues we can follow. So from your perspective, can you guide us on what you think would be a good avenue in order to chase these? You work with a lot of different committees. If there's a committee that maybe has had success in this type of thing, maybe you could provide us some guidance. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, AG.
Thank you, Chair. I'll help the team again by starting some of the conversations. I I think the first question, Chair, it is a general observation as noted by the honourable member in terms of the infrastructure and the material underspending in that particular space with regard to the maintenance thereof. So, Chair, the honourable member is correct. It is a combination of all of those factors the honourable member mentioned. If you don't have money or you don't generate, you don't bill correctly, you can't get the money that you require to then go and do the required maintenance. Chair, if you also do not protect your resources, so for the institutions that are incurring fruitless and wasteful expenditure, that's also money that could have been used to then engage in maintenance activities of your critical infrastructure. Chair, if you don't, Honourable Chair, ensure that you then curb and timelessly respond to your water losses and your non-revenue losses, it becomes a problem because money that you could have used for the maintenance becomes a problem. And then if you also refer back, Honourable Chair, to the last rounds with the MFMAGR, the local government report that the AG presented and tabled to Parliament for the 23-24 financial year. In it, we also highlighted critical gaps in skills and capabilities required, especially in these critical areas of service delivery, including the water space as well. So it is really a combination. So if one were then to say what lever, unfortunately, there isn't a once-off silver bullet. It's going to have to be a systematic approach that the accountability ecosystem employs in dealing with these aspects. But getting the basics right, Honourable Chairperson, like Tabero mentioned when we presented the report, if we can just start by focusing on, for example, getting billing right and making sure that we've got financial systems that support accurate billing, so that when you get billing, you're then able to then focus on the collection and then collect the money and then make sure that you then distribute and allocate the money that you are then able to bill and also prioritize then the maintenance of such infrastructure. Then, Chair, in terms of the non-revenue losses, the specific question there, the honourable member is once again also quite correct. In terms of the value chain weaknesses, it is at the water service authorities in the wastewater treatment plants and the problems we've seen. It is at the water service authorities. The department does require them and request them to submit action plans in response to the findings that would have been raised and in response to the blue drop, green drop, and no drop reports of the department. However, the responses have also been unsatisfactory in the sense of either the action plans not being of the right quality, or sometimes having significant gaps, or not being submitted at all. And then the follow-up becomes quite challenging in that regard. So Chair, the water service authorities are without a doubt the area where we would need to put the significant portion of our attention on. And then the last question, Chair, in terms of the 1.7 billion and the recoveries of the material irregularities raised. Chair, if one wants a specific response, unfortunately, it will require a dedicated action by the accountability ecosystem role players, including yourselves as portfolio committee. One key aspect that we've seen works well is to get dedicated reporting in this regard. So if the portfolio committee could at least, at the very least, start asking for dedicated quarterly feedback reports in terms of the progress that would have been made. What we've also picked up, Chair, unfortunately, if you look at the different spheres of government, the national government seems to enjoy a little bit more attention because, like today's session, it's televised, it's live, and you would see, for example, just as the honourable member asked, the portfolio committee of Kokta that asked a district municipality to come and account to Parliament. It's different spheres of government, but that particular engagement enjoyed quite a bit of attention and it shed quite a bit of light. So from that point of view, having a dedicated program that also focuses on this could be a very good start for the portfolio committee. And some of the members mentioned good initiatives which we were noting. For example, when you do your oversight, making sure that you call the municipalities with the water board so that you have the full value chain and those placed in the accountability ecosystem at the same table, so that one doesn't point fingers at the other one and you're able to then hear them all converse around the challenges in one go. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honourable Moore.
Chair, thank you. I think it aligns. The big challenge is figuring out what actions to take. I do take the quarterly reporting request. We do get reports on it on a regular basis, but maybe we could get maybe as a committee chair we could ask for more specific, detailed quarterly reporting with regards to irregular expenditure, something like that. But I'm happy with the responses. Thank you.
On that note, quickly, before I go back to Honorable Lelanga, Tumani, could we maybe add that more detailed report in our first and second quarter report? Could you maybe add that one there as well, please? Honorable Dlelanga, are you now able to unmute yourself? Colleagues, it seems he's got a problem. Any other member that would like the AG further questions? I don't see any further hands. AG, would you like to conclude? My apology, Honorable Kobe.
Chair, thank you very much. I'd just like maybe if we could also put the recommendation of us visiting various municipalities in our oversight next year, alongside all the other role players in the water sector. But Chair, I think as the last resort, I'd just like to ask if the AG has done a previous audit on municipalities like Salt Blakey, and if they have, did these municipalities maybe have an indication that they're implementing audit action plans from previous audits? I think maybe that would help us in terms of understanding the gaps in terms of implementing those plans, and maybe them having repeat findings or repeating the same sort of behavior within the water sector. Thank you, Chair.
AG, would you like to answer that?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you for the question to the Honourable Member, Chair. The quick and easiest way to deal with that particular question would be to refer the Honourable Committee to the AG's annual general reports that we issue on local government. So those reports would ordinarily give you a good sense of the history of some of the municipalities and the challenges that they would have been struggling with. Chair, we actually also have an interactive website on the AG, or a avenue on the AG's website, where honourable members can click on it, and you can go per province and click per municipality. And in that particular, on the particular website, or platform, you'll be able to click, for example, in that municipality and be able to see some of the infrastructure challenges they would have had across the board, the financial management concerns, and the rate of implementation of the recommendations. And that should give you a good sense of these institutions, including our water service authorities, in that regard. So that would be the quickest way to respond to the honourable members. I see the honourable members looking for information. Thank you, Chair.
Honourable Kobe, that is where you can find that information. Are you satisfied?
Noted, Chair. Thank you. Yes, I am.
Thank you very much. Honourable Reddy?
Yeah, I want to agree with the Honorable Kobe there that we should be intensifying our oversight visits next year, not only with the municipalities, but with the water boards, and especially around the water treatment plants. Now, in the sixth administration, it was Deputy Minister Mashlobo who came to us in eThekwini, and he said that the department was about to lay charges against the municipality because 7 of its waste treatment plants were dysfunctional. And the impact of that was quite far reaching because it was raw sewage that was flowing into the oceans, flowing into the rivers. It was impacting on people's health and a host of other related issues. Now, I think it's a matter that we need to pursue in this administration. The possibility of now going and laying formal charges, criminal charges against those municipalities and those entities that are failing to prioritize the repair of their waste treatment plants. Because remember, it's creating a huge problem for the environment and for people's health and a host of other issues. So I think our approach as a committee cannot be to just wait for more reports. What the AG has presented to us today is an eye-opener. What we need now is to get our DG, get our department to come up with an action plan that is going to say this is what we're going to do to ensure that all these entities that fall within the purview of this committee, that they are in fact doing their job. Failing which, heads must roll and people must get fired for negligence. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Reddy. I think that is a comment you've made. Colleagues, what I think the committee needs to do is we should apply to have a commission of inquiry, having then a week session and in person invite these critical municipalities, get a team leader or advocate or someone that starts the questions exactly that the way they're doing it with the police. I think because it is
Agreed.
it's a criminal offense, what is happening with municipalities. And I think it's time for this committee to take them to task and then, as the Honourable already said, then lay criminal charges against those municipalities. So I will ask Tamani, would you be able to get us some legal advice on how we go about getting inquiry into this on the wastewater, well, not even wastewater, on the water service authorities, where we will bring the mayors and the municipal managers in front of the committee and scrutinize them and get the answers and then lay charges. If we can have that early in the year, we can then take a decision as a committee what the way will be forward. I'm going to, for the last time, ask Honourable Dlelanga whether your hand is still up. Do you still want to ask a question? It seemed not. AG, would you like to conclude on this?
Thank you. Yes, Chairperson. From our side, thank you once again to the committee. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for also receiving our report well. Honourable Chair, honourable members, like we mentioned right at the beginning of our report, we do appreciate the complexities with regard to the timing, but also we do then really hope that the report was of value because it was a good attempt at giving the committee and the rest of the accountability ecosystem role players an overview, a consolidated overview of the sector, reflecting on the value chain. And so therefore, we also remain open to supporting the committee and the rest of the sector as it then embarks on its respective responsibilities and mandates to deal with these challenges. From our side, thank you for the opportunity. Honourable Chair, honourable members, take care.
From my side also to all the people from AG, have a blessed festival season. If you go on holidays, enjoy that. Honourable Ditebi, I'll give you a chance now. And to all the members and all the other officials on this platform, have a blessed festive season. Come back safe next year. And there's a lot of hard work for us as a committee to make sure that the people of South Africa, the residents, they get clean drinking water, and that we would stop the pollution of our rivers and our streams and the sea. Honourable Ditebi.
Chairperson, good morning to you. Good morning to honourable members and team from AGSA. Chairperson, profuse apologies. I did indicate that I'm still here at the site of this tragedy where an 11-year-old drowned along with the other whose body was retrieved yesterday. The police divers are still in the water. It's about 540 cubic meters of water. Unfortunately, due to this, I could not participate. As you would understand, the community is waiting here, but the police are doing their best. But Chairperson, while it may seem unrelated to our portfolio, we all are affected by climate. And I think at some point, generally as members of parliament, we have to talk about the issue of the number of divers that the police have. I'm told the unit was defunded or shut down back in 2018. And what happens is that, especially in poorer communities where water can collect, children will always be attracted to that. And it means communities are not safe. As I say, it's not related to this, but it's something that I have to come and do, as we did together with other members in Heidedal during the oversight of 4 portfolio committees. I thought perhaps before we adjourn the meeting, I should just apprise you of the developments, because I did post in the group as to what exactly is happening here. But thank you very much, Chairperson, for your indulgence.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. All of the best there, and please, the committees, please inform the family members of our condolences as a portfolio committee. We would appreciate that. AG, you're more than welcome now to leave. The committee's got one final item to deal with, so you may leave. And as I've said, have a blessed festive season, and we see each other in the new year. Please, committee members, please stay on so that we conclude on one item. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members.
Can I ask that we have a 2-minute body break?
Yes, Chair.
Can we continue? Is everybody back?
Yes, Chair, we're here.
Okay, thank you very much. Tomani, I see nobody has sent you anything on the group unless it's been sent to you personally. But you heard what people wanted to add in the recommendations. Can we go through those again?
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Yeah, I've updated the recommendations. I've updated the 4.3, and it now reads as follows. The committee notes that the department has indicated that it has cleared all the backlog cases of historical irregular expenditure, and the only outstanding cases now are pending court proceedings, SIU investigation, disciplinary actions or processes, and that condemnation processes are also being expedited to comply with the National Treasury Instruction Note of the Public Finance Management Act relating to compliance and reporting framework. Notwithstanding these efforts, the department should submit a process flow on National Treasury coordinations indicating timeframes, recoverable and non-recoverable funds for irregular expenditure, among other issues, within 14 days. And the other addition is 4.4. The department should provide quarterly progress reports on irregular expenditure and material irregularity. So this relates to the issues that were raised recently, but of course it relates to some of the issues that were raised during the deliberations on quarterly reports. And then I added the 4.8. The committee resolved that the committee should prioritize oversight into the water services management program, which deals with, among other issues, departmental support to municipalities or water service authorities, key to water service delivery. In this case, the committee program should provide for a session on the departmental support to municipalities. So this is a recommendation that we will take it up as the secretariat of the committee. So those are the additions that we have added following a brief discussion earlier on today. Thank you, Chairperson.
Honorable Ditebe, is that legacy hand? It seems so. Colleagues, this is the amended recommendations of this report. Can we accept that? Honorable Moore?
I propose that we accept the report, Chair.
Can I get a seconder? Honorable Kegakilwe?
I second, Chair, that we adopt this report.
Thank you very much. This report has then been adopted. Thank you very much. Tamani, any other news on our trip to Bangkok?
Yes, I have since written to the senior manager. He has escalated the request or the instruction that the travel and accommodation should be confirmed today. I've seen he has started communicating with the other senior managers as well, who are leading that process. And I've managed to also get the authoritative weather report from in Bangkok, and it shows that December is the best year to visit Bangkok. So the temperatures are very high, similar to what we have here in Cape Town. So they are ranging between 25 to 33. And the likelihood of rain is very slim. So I think the members will have a good stay in Bangkok. Thank you, Chairperson.
Depends on where we stay. Yeah, it depends on where we stay. Secondly, Tamani, the day-to-day out-of-pocket that Parliament needs to pay, is that finalized?
Yes. I think that is finalized. They will make a transfer today. And I don't see any challenges with regard to payments because all approvals with regard to payments are done. It is just the issue around the travel agent that is delayed.
Please keep us informed on the travel agent, as I really am worried about this travel agent, and the Parliament needs to address this issue. This chair informed me also, and I forwarded that 2 weeks ago to say, do not delay this. These persons that is dealing with travel agencies, they're not up to scratch. But anyway, thank you very much for the update. Please update us. Send us maybe the link where we can apply for that card. As Honorable already said, it is online. Would you please investigate that? We can get that. And please inform us then on any changes on flights or whatever the case may be. Colleagues, with that said, thank you very much for a shorter meeting today. We're going to have a very long day this afternoon into tonight, sitting in Parliament for the rest of this week as well. I just want to 100% make sure Honorable Kegakilwe, is that a legacy hand?
My apology, Chair.
Okay. Honorable Ditebe, is that a legacy hand? I think he's dealing with other issues. Colleagues, with that said, thank you very much. I adjourn this meeting now. Thank you and bye.
Thank you, Chair. Bye.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.